Okay, this is my project for today. It's a gun mounted on rails, and I want to make a little model of it for our track. What it actually is a gun from a German ship called the SMS Königsberg that was sank in Africa in the First World War. And then the Germans salvaged the guns and used them on land. This one they put in Tanga in the north of Tanzania. As you can see, it's mounted on rails on a wooden platform. Should be a relatively easy project, but I'm going to have to make a few modifications. I won't be able to do it exactly to size and scale. One reason is because I think they're on narrow gauge. Another reason is, as you can see, the platform's very wide, and I mean, if I built it on our track it wouldn't get round corners. So I'm going to have to make the platform a little bit more narrow, and a couple of compromises like that, but I reckon I'm going to give it a go. And what I'm going to use is oh, that's the Königsberg there. What I'm going to use, I'm going to put a few kits together. I bought this. It's a standard wagon base. I bought it from the Northfields model shop. I think they charged me £1 or £2, so that's alright, that's within our budget. Then for the platform, I'm going to use this. It's left over from our Dapple level crossing. That's probably a reasonable size for it, as it was actually the original gun platform. But like I say, that won't get round corners, so I'm going to have to cut that down quite small. It's going to be a representation of the original, not an actual scale model, I think. And then, what I'm going to use for the gun is... I mean, the actual Königsberg guns were 105mm, this one's going to be 88mm, but look, there's a gun. So again, it's not going to be perfectly to scale, but I'm going to use that as the basis of it. And then for the gun's crew, there aren't many naval figures I can find, because so what I've done is I've bought these Russian Soviet naval infantry, and I'm going to try and convert them. Now you might think it's a bit crazy buying 3 kits to make one model, but actually it's not cost that much. Like I say, that was a leftover piece. That was, I think, £1 or £2 at the most. These figures were £2.99, £3. This was £6.99, again, Northfields model shop. So altogether we're spending kind of less than you would on actually buying a brand new wagon. And yet at the end of it, I'm hoping to have a railway mounted gun. A bit like that. Okay, I've trimmed down our Dapple level crossing to be a good size to fit on our wagon. That's the first part of our little job done. The second thing is going to be the actual gun. And of course we get a free half track with it, which I might make later, but look, there's our gun. It's a bit more complex than the system used on the 105mm Königsberg guns. And I think the recoil cylinder's on the top, with ours on the bottom. But I think with a little bit of work I can get that looking roughly like a naval 105mm, which is what we wanted. And here we have an essential part. That's the mounting for the gun, the pivot mount. This version for the 88mm by Airfix looks very similar to what we're going to be needing. So I think we just put that on there with the gun. Paint it up, maybe in a kind of naval grey. And I'll get back to you when I've done that. Okay, here's our unpainted 88mm gun on our railway platform. And now, onto the crew. These are the Russian sailors. I reckon they're close enough to German sailors of the period. All navies wore similar uniforms. I'm going to cut rifles off and trim down little bits and try painting them up in German naval colours. We're getting there. Okay, so I've started painting our gun and our figures for our little platform there. I'm going to do a little bit of weathering on the platform now, so let's take it through to our spraying room. This is a humble acrylic. I'm just going to give it a quick blast with that. Hey, I think I like that. Okay, so I've assembled our gun, our Airfix 88mm. We're pretending it's a naval 105mm. I've painted it. I did it in a light kind of naval grey, which is what they probably would have been originally on the ship. Then I did a few highlights in white, and I did a little wash over in a very thinned out black to make the details stand out a bit.
And it also
oh, sorry, go on.
And it also looks like you've made it look a bit rusty.
Well spotted, yeah, I did put a little reddish brown on there, yeah, I thought that would be appropriate if the gun's sat out in the open for a long time, like it probably was.
That was cool.
So now I'm going to stick it onto our train wagon platform. And on with the main gun. That's roughly what we're going to be looking at as a finished piece, I think. Okay, so we're trying to make our railway mounted Königsberg gun, and remember I bought this packet of Soviet naval infantry to be our gunners, and I've been painting them up is what I've been doing. Here's a couple of them. As you see, I've cut the guns off them so that they can fit around and be gunners. I've cut that guy's gun down and tried to give him an artillery shell so he can be loading. This guy's going to be our officer. What I was basing these uniforms roughly on is this photograph here. I don't know if you can see properly, that's slightly better. It's a photograph of one of the Königsberg guns that we're trying to model back in the Second World War. Sorry, First World War. This is 1916, I think 1915 or 1916. It's on Lake Tanganyika, and yep, there we are, a German naval gun crew. Interestingly, the uniforms, I don't know if you know much about German East African uniforms, they're mostly wearing naval uniforms. This guy is wearing the uniform of a naval officer. This guy's got a blue naval cap on, a white naval cap, another white naval cap. That's kind of a civilian shirt, I think. That's a blue naval shirt, German Navy issue. He's probably from the Königsberg itself, or possibly the SMS Merva, which was also over there. This naval guy with the naval cap is wearing a khaki Schutztruppe uniform. Schutztruppe are the German regular colonial soldiers in East Africa, and this guy in the background there with a white cap, that's a Schutztruppe cap. So it's a mixture of navy and colonial uniforms. So what I've done here is I've given this guy roughly a naval uniform. I've given this guy a naval uniform, given him khaki trousers. This guy I've given him a Schutztruppe uniform and one of those caps with a white hat band, as seen in the photograph there. So that's going to be my crew, and then I'm going to stick them on to the gun platform. I've already put one guy on. I'm going to put some more on now, and then we'll take it for a spin round the track. Okay, I'm gluing the figures onto the gun carriage now, and as you can see, what I'm using is a bit of blue tack just to act as supports to hold them standing upright until the polystyrene cement sets. Cool, nearly done.
Hey Arch, what do you think of our new wagon?
That is the most detailed wagon I've ever seen. I think the gun is just stunningly detailed, and so are the men. The men just make it more detailed.
So it wins?
Win-win.
Absolutely, brilliant.
Especially with the J72 shunt.
Yeah, that's probably a similar period to the gun, actually. Or maybe I need to make a proper East African loco.
Oh, that could be another project.